Have you ever thought about manifesting and how powerful that it can be? Have you got plans and goals that you want to achieve this year and need a little kickstart to get there? Why not listen to the podcast, The Power of Manifesting, the Flip-Flop Family Podcast. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Flip-Flop Family Podcast. I'm Silene.
And I am Benjamin.
And we are so happy to be here.
Very happy.
Very happy. Thank you so much for being loyal listeners. If you are a brand new listener, stick around. We have loads more episodes. And this one, I have a feeling in my gut it's going to be a good one. So Benjamin, what's been happening this week?
So this week we have finally got our bathroom plastered, which has been going on for absolutely ages. And when I was drawing up the plan for the tiler, I found a list that I wanted of things I wanted to get done. And this was back in January 2024. And now we're in March 2025. And we've actually got it plastered now.
That's crazy.
So it's been over a year now.
I mean, we've been pretty busy in this house, haven't we, to be fair?
We have, yeah. So just getting it done now feels really good, and the kids can finally get their bathroom done and have it all for themselves and have a little bath, and
they deserve it, to be
fun.
Fair. We also had Emiliana and Zach's parents' evening this week, and we were kind of not sure what they were going to say, but it seems that Zach's doing really well, pretty much at greater depths, and Emiliana was very surprised, I have to say.
Yeah, I've got to admit that I find Emiliana that I just feel like she's like a bit undercover, because
a dark horse.
I don't see her at home studying really hard, but when you go to parents' evening, they're like, oh, this girl, she's exceptional, she's this, and I'm like, wait a minute, have they got Emiliana's report mixed up with another child here? Because I don't see her at home studying or sweating away I've got to get my homework done and all this.
Yeah.
And then she's getting a really good report, so fantastic, and kudos to her.
Definitely. Those words or phrases that the teachers have been saying have been resounding. She keeps telling us, exceptional, mummy. I was exceptional, and I think she got even top of the year in drama.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
And funnily enough, Emiliana's New Year's resolutions from 1st of January actually was to do better at school. So absolutely killing it.
Brilliant. Very good.
And what about yours, Ben? What were your New Year's resolutions this year?
So I had a couple that I wanted to try to keep up with. So first one was to read more, which I feel like I try to find a time to read, which is at night time before I go to bed. But I felt like I do definitely read more than last year. So I make sure now on a Sunday morning I get up when everyone's asleep, because obviously in the weekdays I wake up really early and I go and have a workout and stuff at 5 o'clock. So come the weekends, I try and have a lie-in, but I can't. So I wake up anyway early, and I come downstairs and I do a bit of reading or whatever for about an hour. So
yeah, and then I get a text message from you, because normally Ben's up early and I have a nice lie-in on a Sunday, and I get a text message from Ben saying, "Good morning, babe. Do you want a cup of tea or anything?" And then he says, "Oh, just to remind you, it's no tech Sunday." I'm like, oh, okay, Dad.
No tech Sunday.
But I think you're telling me to remind the kids, I hope, not to remind me, because I would be on my phone for you to be able to text me in the first place.
True.
Yeah, and also we had last week, I'm Ismaili, so we celebrated something called Navroz, which is, in Persian, Navroz means new day. Literally, it means new day. And if you're someone who celebrates Navroz, you would also have a little table set up, which is called a Haft Sin table, which means 7 S's. And I just thought it was really interesting to go through the 7 S's, because it really is about new beginnings and just getting the best out of your year. So first you might have an apple on the table called Seeb, which symbolizes health and beauty. Then Samano, which is a wheat pudding, which is for strength and abundance. Senjed, which is dried lotus fruit for wisdom and love. Sir, which is garlic, which is for protection and good health. Then you have Sirha, which is vinegar, which is for patience and longevity. And the last two are Sabzi, which is sprouts or greenery, which is for renewal and growth. And Somak, which is literally sumac, which is for sunrise and how light can triumph over dark. And in addition to the sins on the table, you would also decorate it with mirrors, which I'm assuming is for reflection, to be able to achieve your resolutions, you need to reflect. Candlesticks, I'm assuming, for everlasting light. And then you might have the holy book for guidance, water tank, goldfish, sweets, flowers, all that kind of stuff. And it really just got me thinking about New Year's resolutions and how for us, Navroz is almost like a second chance to achieve those things. But we're only third of the way through the year. So regardless of whether you celebrate Navroz or not, I think it's the beginning of spring. The clocks are going, I always forget, forward.
It's
spring
going
forward.
Yeah.
So the clocks are going forward. The days are getting longer. So it's almost like a time, I feel, to reflect on those New Year's resolutions, those goals that perhaps you did or didn't achieve, and have another go at it.
Yeah, I think people kind of generally, they start off the year with all this, motivation. I'm going to try to carry out all my resolutions, but I feel like they kind of dwindle a little bit over time. And I feel like they kind of step back from them. So when spring comes, it's like a bit of a reminder really to try to get back into it again.
You literally feel better, don't you? Like the beautiful flowers are out, like the cherry blossoms and the magnolias. Like constantly when we're driving, I'm like, kids, look at all the daffodils. Kids, look at all the all right mum. But it makes you feel good. And I think it's a good time to think, right, this is where I'm at in my life. Have I achieve those things I wanted to? So coming back to your resolutions, you said the reading. And then what else was on it?
So I wanted to try and find a way to volunteer a bit more too as well. So but I've not really kind of carried that one out. I wanted to maybe do some stuff at my church, but I've not. That's kind of one that I've not really been very good with. I feel like obviously, I don't want to try to use this as an excuse, but time is a bit hard at the moment with like work and, home life and stuff. But I've just got to try and find like one time in the week where I can actually volunteer, even like an hour a week to try and help, the elderly somehow, or go into my church to help to, clean or whatever, just to try and do something. But it's really all about time right now for me, and I just can't find the time.
Yeah, I think sadly, like over 90% of New Year's resolutions are abandoned in the first few months. And I think time is one of the biggest reasons why people don't stick to it. So I think that's a really good idea to kind of allocate a slot, a bit like how you said you do your reading on a Sunday morning. When you wake up in the morning that's your time. That's my time. And it's similarly with these podcasts. That was one of my resolutions, was to set this up and to do 2 episodes every single week. And we've kind of got into a flow, haven't we, where we record one at the weekend, I record one on like a Wednesday, and that's the routine now. Like everybody knows. Everyone needs to kind of be in bed and leave me in my space to do it, and the kids leave us, or you leave us, or whoever's doing it at the weekend. So allocating a space. Did you have any other resolutions on your list?
Yeah, so definitely to write more. So people don't know, but I actually like to write stories. And I've written a few stories. Last year I sent them off to a few publishers and they sent me some contracts, but I've not just really found the right place for me yet with them, so I'm just kind of taking my time. But I've written about 2 or 3 really good stories right now at the moment, so I'm just trying to write some more and then find a publisher to publish them, which would be great. So but I still think I need to write more. So but again, it's about time. It's about finding that time in the week where I know, right, so on a Friday after work I'm going to come home for like an hour and I'm just going to write, and then but there's always a school pickup or a school, drop off, or a club pickup or a club drop off. So it's just hard to find time, but I just have to try and find my way around that really. And
tell us a bit more though, Ben. People listening won't know this about you, and I absolutely love when you're in your writing zone. Like you just have this little kind of smirk on your face when you come downstairs, or when you're walking around. I can see the little cogs in your head turning because you're so good at like thinking of new ideas and magical stories. So you keep saying stories, and just tell us quickly, what kind of stories are you writing? Check out the brand new episode released of the Flip Flop Family podcast. Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you can't control what you do. Why not have a listen all about self-discipline and self-control, and lots more other fun stuff.
So, I mean, it's more for children. So I'd say they're more kind of picture books like now at the moment. So between like 7 and like 11, really. Just very quick stories, about 1,000 words long. But I try to like have a bit of a message in my stories. So it's not only about just like a fun experience. It might be about, like a granddad that passes away, and how the grandchildren kind of process that, like almost, but not in a hard way, more in an easier way to like understand stuff like that, really.
Well, they're amazing. I know you're my husband, but I can vouch that I love them, and I can't wait to they're
You're
out.
Just biased. Come on.
And well, again, that was another one that I know you've always wanted to do that, and you've always kind of jotted stuff down, but you've never actually started and finished a book.
Yeah.
And so I think it was over a year ago that, as a gift, I got you a BBC writing course.
Yeah, that's right.
Was it Julia Donaldson?
Julia Donaldson.
Yeah. But imagine, see, even that, something you really wanted to do, but we just don't allocate enough time.
But even that course, so that's the online course. It's for like, there's like about 8 or 9 lessons in it, and each lesson's about 15 to like 20 minutes. But even that, I've done like half that course because it's just about time. I mean, like the first half of it was like really good, and it kind of, you know, got me on my way a little bit. But it's such a lovely course. So, you know, anyone that likes to write stories, I would thoroughly recommend Julia Donaldson and the course on BBC Maestro, I think it's called.
Yeah, they've got loads of courses.
I think it's about 80 quid, and you get like 7 or 8 videos that she's put out that are really informative about how to write a story.
And there's lots of other authors, and there's lots of other courses too, not just writing. So if that is something that is on your list for the year, that's actually a bit of a tip, babe. It's a good tip for us to add in there. Yeah. Check out BBC Maestro, and a lovely gift as well to give to people. I think to give someone the gift of sort of knowledge or helping them to enhance their lives is such a lovely gift, instead of always giving something materialistic. Coming back to why we actually don't stick to resolutions, we've talked about time. It could be that something's really unachievable, like you're setting yourself such a steep mountain to climb with your goal that there's just no way you're gonna get to it. Then it could be lack of consistency or dedication, and I have to put my hands up because you know how I wanted to do the hip challenge. What was it called? The crouching. Squatting.
Like squat challenge.
And I haven't been, I think I did like up to day 7. I set myself a 30-day challenge, and I think I went up to day 7. I've still been gymming, but I haven't been squatting. Yeah. And I'm not very happy with myself. I don't know where the month went.
Yeah. I mean, with squatting, you can do that at home anyway. So you should really find the time to do that. It's only, you know, it's not like you need like some weights or anything like that. So really and truly, you should have really done that.
I know.
I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but I feel like you can do it like, you know, in between going to like the fridge or something. Just
in between going to the fridge?
Yeah.
What do you mean stop halfway and start squatting on the floor?
You might be, you know, doing some, you know, cooking or whatever. You might want to go and get like a cucumber out of the fridge or whatever.
What are you talking about,
Let me just
Ben?
do my 1 minute squat quickly, which is like 1 minute. I mean, my point is, like that sounds like a little bit mad.
It does.
But my point is that you can do your squat challenge anywhere at any time.
No, you are right, really, but I'm not going to do it on the way to the fridge, babe.
Not the fridge,
I'll walk,
maybe,
and then
but
you
know
look
what
at
I
me,
mean,
and then
right?
you look away, and you'll be like, "Where's Mum gone?" Because I'll be like behind the island, squatting on the floor.
I mean, my point is that you can do it at any time. So really, you not doing that is not very cool.
I'm feeling like you're giving me a bit of a scolding.
I am,
but hold on a minute. You only told me about three of your resolutions. What happened to I'm going to be able to do the splits by the end of the year, Benjamin?
Well, but God, you and Emiliana just laughed at me.
Because you look odd.
At me. Like what? Like why was that so funny?
Because
I'm 45 years old and I want to do the splits. A
45-year-old man has on his New Year's resolution list to do the splits.
I mean, haven't you ever wanted to just go down and like spread your legs and just like do the splits?
Yeah, this all sounds really strange. But what happened to you? Where are you at with it?
It's only March. I've still got 7 months left or 8 months or whatever.
I think we need to get you to do the splits and I'm going to take a picture of you, and that will be like, I think the kind of front of this podcast. Yeah,
you can do that if you like. The funny thing is I did actually start doing it for the first month, and I was doing it every single day.
You were actually really
good.
But
then I kind of stopped, but I will get back on that again. And by December, I'm going to put it out there right now. By December, I am going to be doing the full splits both ways. And then we'll see who's going to be laughing.
What do you mean by both ways?
As in you go like with your legs outwards, and then you go with them kind of in front of you and like behind you, so both ways. Yeah.
Oh, okay, those 2 different types of splits.
You didn't know
about really
that
done
one,
your research, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so for you, perhaps there was not enough motivation to procrastination. Maybe there wasn't enough motivation for you to get that done. So that's another one. Not enough resources, motivation, or just perhaps just a loss of zeal. I knew you'd like that word, Ben. Loss of zeal.
Are you like making words up again?
No, I'm not. Loss of zeal after starting.
Loss of zeal.
Yeah, Z-E-A-L. Yeah, that's a word.
Zeal's a word. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like kind of get a bit. You're kind of over it. Like you're really hyped. I'm really going to do this.
Okay,
and then you're like, maybe I was just thinking too big,
Mm-hmm.
And so my New Year's resolutions, I wouldn't say that mine were resolutions. Mine were goals, and I've written them down here. So I've said, but I actually set myself a much earlier goal, and maybe that is a good thing to do, because I've written on my piece of paper here goals to achieve by the end of April 2025, and I think that's actually a really good hack. So instead of giving yourself like a year,
yeah.
So for example, for you, let's say you're reading.
Yeah.
you always ask me to buy you books for Christmas because I always ask for Christmas present ideas.
Yeah.
So let's say I bought you 12 books for Christmas. You could be like, right, by April, I want to read one book a month, for example, or I
Yeah.
want to finish this really massive book that's taken me ages. Like giving yourself sort of bite-sized goals instead of and like short goals instead of one big long
100%.
goal.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a few on my list, and to be fair, most of them are related to like radio and TV. And doing this podcast is obviously one of the big ones on there, which, I feel like so far, this is, I think this is our 22nd episode, Ben.
Good.
So,
Well
that
done.
is fire. So that is, working for us.
Yeah.
And getting the house finished. Again, the plasterer's here, so we're on our way.
Yeah, we are definitely on our way.
Which is great. So moving on, I think we're doing well with the list. But for a lot of people who might be listening, who are actually now thinking, you're right, Zylene and Ben, there are a lot of resolutions I haven't stuck to. What can we do? How can we help to achieve our goals or our New Year's resolutions?
Well, I think you say like bite size, right? So if you have a resolution from January to December, you can kind of cop out a little bit and be like, oh, I'm going to pick it back up again around, May time, I'm going to start again. But if you kind of say, right, from January to say March, I'm going to achieve this amount. And then from March to June, I'm going to do this amount. You're always kind of keeping yourself accountable. So I would say definitely do more bite-sized stuff. Don't just go, right, I'm going to do this great big massive thing in the whole year. Because then it's like, do you know what? I'm tired today. I'm not going to do it. But if by March, you've got to do a certain thing, that will probably remotivate you to keep on going.
Yeah.
But if you've got the whole year, you're like, I'll just, chill for a bit today. Maybe next week I'll start again. And then, next week never really comes, in it. So it's best to just take things in bite size.
That is. And I think what you said about accountability, having an accountability buddy, like how you were just like, babe, you should have really done your squats. Like maybe
that's a cop out, those squats. It's like
all
1
right,
minute
move
a day.
on from that, babe.
You can't dedicate 1 minute a day.
Okay, you don't want an accountability buddy like Ben. You want an encouraging accountability buddy.
All right, sorry, I'll change.
So maybe telling somebody like your good friend or family member like what your goals are, and they can tell you theirs, and sort of every few weeks you check in on each other. Like, where are you at with that? Just to encourage.
Like if I was going to be your accountability coach,
I don't want you to be my accountability coach.
No, just say hypothetically, if I was going to be your accountability coach, I would be not just kind of checking in on you. I would just be making sure that every day at a certain time, I would help you do that one thing. So, for example, if it was your squat challenge, after dinner, I'd be like, right, babe, squat challenge time.
You're a bit more like a drill sergeant though.
Yeah, but I feel that you need that.
I do. Okay, so can you be just for the squatting, can you be my accountability buddy?
Why is that only for the squatting?
And although I have asked Alexa to remind me to take my vitamins, sometimes I forget. So can you be my squat and vitamin buddy?
Squat and vitamin buddy.
Yeah.
I've been called many things in my life, but never a squat and vitamin buddy. But I will take that. I'll take anything right now.
So how else can we all achieve our New Year's resolutions? This one's quite funny because, as you may know, I'm actually an occupational therapist. And when I was studying to be an OT, and in some settings that I've worked in, for clients, we are advised to set SMART goals. So SMART goals. And each one is an acronym. It stands for something. So specific. Instead of saying, I want to get in shape, aim to walk for 30 minutes 3 times a week. So that also comes into what you were saying, Ben, about breaking it down into smaller achievable goals. So measurable, track your progress and see how far you've come. Again, that could be with an accountability buddy, or maybe you just have a little diary that you write down that you check off that you've done that every day or every week.
Yep.
Make it achievable. Start small and build momentum. Make it relevant. Ensure that your resolutions align with your values and goals. I think that's really important because if you, again, are picking something that's just, you've picked it out of the air and it's not really in line with what you want, you're not going to achieve it.
Yeah.
And lastly, make it time bound, which is, again, what you said. Setting deadlines to stay focused.
Tracking your progress. So writing things down, like having a journal or a calendar or even an app just to monitor your activities. It really kind of puts you in a headspace where you can see those small wins start to happen and it's going to keep you, moving in the right direction. So tracking your progress is massive. Creating a plan also is very good. Just trying to break down those little smaller things to try to achieve and to watch yourself get there.
Actually, talking about creating a plan, Ben, I was looking online for things to do with the kids, and there's this website called Twinkle, which a lot of teachers use as like teaching resources, and I came across one which was for New Year's resolutions, and there were some really good things on there actually. Like it said about how to think about what your favorite memory was from last year, and what your goals were and what you achieved from last year, and then it asked you to think about one thing that you could do again from last year. What would it be?
Yeah.
And I think not just throwing forward, but also throwing back and looking at what you achieved last year. You may have achieved loads, and that may also give you a bit of momentum and give you a bit of like
a bit of a push.
Like, oh, look what I did last year. If I maybe push myself a bit more,
I can go to like another level. Yeah.
Or it may be, oh dear, 2024 was a bit lax. I mean, I had all these ideas and I didn't. I'm not going to make that same mistake in 2025.
Yeah.
So I think doing some sort of activity, you know, either to yourself or if you have children or family, almost like sitting down and drawing it together. And if you put it on the wall, it would be really easy to be accountable because you're kind of seeing it every day. Like, okay, these are my goals. Like we were saying how we want to put some artwork in our bedroom, right?
Yeah.
And put like a nice affirmation.
Yeah.
Because every day you look at it subconsciously, you're reading it and you're believing it.
Yeah, for sure. But also, what was that thing that we'd done as a family about 4 or 5 years ago where we'd write down, I think at the beginning of the year, we'd write down something on a strip of paper and then we put it in a glass jar. And then I think the plan was like we would write down what we wanted to achieve in that year. And then at the end of the year, we'd all get together and then open the jar up and see see what we wrote and how far we came in that year with that. But I don't think we've done that.
But let's do that now. Let's do that now because obviously it's March.
Again, that's going to hold you accountable when it comes to that time to open that glass jar up. You're going to be like, oh God, I hope I've done it.
I love that, Ben. Let's all do that. And if everyone listening, you should do it too. Get a jar. Write down what you want to do, put it in there and seal it, and then a bit like a time capsule, and then open it on Christmas Day or New Year's Eve in 2025 and just see, have you been able to do it? I like that, Ben. I really like that.
Okay, so be realistic and flexible. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many resolutions at once. It's quite hard to be able to achieve everything. So if you've got 5 things that you want to do, but you're thinking, actually, I probably won't do all of them, I would try to bring it down to 3 and see if you can try and achieve them, because sometimes we do have really good intentions and we want to achieve like loads of things, but is it really realistic? So if I were you, be realistic and stay flexible and be prepared to adjust your plan if needed.
Those are all great ones, I think,
Another one, make it a habit. I'm reading a really good book at the moment called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And again, it's really about just small changes to try and not kind of have that motivation, but try to make what you're doing a habit. So like now me getting up early in the morning at 5 o'clock, it's really a habit. It's not like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go have a workout. It's just a habit now. It's just like a part of my life.
Same with your fasting,
which
how
is
you
great.
Don't eat every day.
Yeah,
like, that's a habit
again,
now, isn't it?
I have one meal a day, which is at 6, or I have like a 1 hour window to eat in the whole day, which is generally between 6 and 7 o'clock. But that's like a habit now. It's not even like it's hard anymore,
Food just doesn't get eaten in this house anymore. I feel like before when we'd have dinner and there was leftovers, I knew you'd take it for lunch or you'd eat it at lunch. Now I have to just make sure that I'm making smaller dinners because the food's just not getting eaten the next day.
Yeah,
I made lovely fish curry this week with salmon. And it didn't get finished, did it?
I mean, I had that like 3 days in a row as well.
Well, you're the one that wanted loads of salmon in it.
Say.
So what would you say was the dish of the week this week?
Well, considering I've had your salmon curry like 3 or 4 times this week. No, but I did enjoy that because obviously it's very healthy. It's a very well-balanced meal.
It was
so
nice.
I was quite happy to have it, again and again and again.
And had a bit of a kick to it. I'll make sure I put that up on the Flip Flop Family Kitchen page if you want to check it out. What about what you're listening to?
I've gone back to some Lana Del Rey, actually, a little bit of her vibe. She's got a really cool song called Diet Mountain Dew.
I always love it when you tell us your songs because I have no idea what they are.
Yeah, it's like dun, 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 baby New York City.
Oh, yes, I love that one. I just don't know the names of them.
Be in love forever. But she sounds nothing like that, though.
No, sorry, babe. But it is a great song. And actually, Lana Del Rey is in concert on the 3rd of July at Wembley.
Ooh,
babe, in case you're interested.
Hint.
If you're on Spotify, I've actually got a album called the Flip Flop Family Podcast Song of the Day. So if you liked the music that we recommend that we're listening to, then feel free to just check out that album, and all the songs from all our podcasts are in that album. What have we been watching this week? Anything new this week?
I think it might have come out about a month ago. It's called 1,000 Blows with Stephen Graham, who was the dad from Adolescence. Excellent actor, really good. And it's also got the girl from Adolescence, the therapist, who was the therapist to the little boy.
I love
Jamie,
her.
I think it was.
I watched her in something else. I can't remember what the drama was, but she's been in
so
a few
brilliant.
things. She's great.
Yeah. So like she plays a character called Mary Carr in this 1,000 Blows. So it's just about, it's based, I think, in the 1920s or like the 1930s in East London. East London. And basically what happens is there's a couple of guys who come over from Jamaica because they've got this plan to be part of a circus and be like a lion tamer. It doesn't quite work out, so they have to make some money for their buildings. So they start to box and they start to fight, and it's really good. And Stephen Graham's a boxer, and so is his brother, and they like to cheat a little bit, but I don't want to go too far into it, but it's a great watch. I think I'm on like number 3 or number 2.
Yeah, you've gone past me. I want to get back on it, Ben. I really enjoyed it. I love Mary Carr. She's played by an actress called Erin Doherty.
That's it.
And did you know that the show is actually based on a true story? And I know you like a true story, Benjamin.
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
Did not know that.
It's based on a true story of the 40 Elephants, which was the all-female gang of thieves who operated in London during the 1880s through to the 1920s. Actually, it's even better watch now, isn't it? When you know there's something, a bit of truth behind it all.
Love that.
We gave you a tip earlier, which we'll remind you about. If you want to get someone a gift, or you want to just further your learning and you want to do it online, BBC Maestro has loads of different courses that you can check out. And our savvy tip has got to be that Lidl, even Waitrose are doing it, but I think Lidl are doing it for much cheaper, are selling, you know, that Dubai chocolate, that trend that has gone over
that
TikTok
viral
and
TikTok
online.
thing.
It's like the chocolate with the pistachio, and it's also got that gorgeous katafi. It's like crispy shredded phyllo pastry as well as tahini paste. It is so delicious, and you can get it in Lidl for $3.99 a bar, which is a steal because I think that it's way more expensive in Waitrose, but they know that people are going to go crazy for it, so they've limited 2 per customer.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so if you're in Lidl and you see that Dubai style chocolate, grab a bar and try it.
That's mad.
I know, and let me know how it is.
Okay, that's it. It's finished. No.
Already?
Right. Yeah, it's gone quick today. Guys, we got the Flip Flop family, and this is our podcast, and we release 2 a week, which is on a Monday and a Thursday. Remember, keep those resolutions going. Stay strong. Small habits, small wins.
That's right. I love that, Ben. Great ending. Optimism is not the only thing that's going to get you there. You need a plan.
Yeah.
Please do comment. We always try to respond to every comment that we receive, whether you're a new listener or a regular listener. We do absolutely love to hear from you. It spurs us on and gives us a little smile. We hope you have a beautiful day. I'm Zylene.
I'm Benjamin.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Fancy listening to another episode? Why not check out all about parenting, confidence, promoting healthy eating, self-discipline, or the power of manifesting. And remember, we release 2 episodes every single week on a Monday and a Thursday.